Hello, everyone. What a happy day we had today. And I will start singing the same song that I perform in the Concafras Global Music just for you. We are free, so but the harvest is never late. Time flies and there's no turning back. Let's go planting, the land is great. We are called to war. Let's get started, let's get started now. Let's seize this special chance. Workers of the last hour, Jesus Christ is light. Brother, friend, he announced for all the time the consoler. Now we have in hands Spiritist love. Spiritist love. In Jesus Christ, we have the example of love, peace, harmony. We will learn alongside Him that the Christian never gets tired. We are called to war. Let's get started. Let's get started now. Let's seize this special chance. Workers of the last hour, Jesus Christ is light. Brother, friend, he announced it for all the time, the consoler. Now we have in hands the Spirit is love. The Spirit is love. Well, now I'm gonna sing a different song, a little bit calmer, just preparing us for the meeting tonight. It's another version of the song Schedule with Jesus. It's very at nightfall in Capernaum. Bigger house, so simple, just a little home, filled with peace, harmony, and light. Listen eternal words Jesus Christ. I imagine myself sitting over there among John, Peter, James, and Levi on the shore of the lake of the Jesus, sowing the soul forever, seeds of faith, and I still a child in that place. Who knows, maybe Jesus Christ will take me to walk in the backyard of Peter's house on moonlight, feeling the light of the breeze, perfuming the sea. You said it to me, it's time for you to return. We'll meet again in your gospel home. We'll meet again in your gospel at home. Now, one very soft for us to prepare. Oh, Jesus, here I am, my knees on the floor, to say thank you, my Lord, for the light that come through this door. Your love is the key to change the entire world. Using these chains wisely, we will live in peace and harmony. Now I understand, helping others is helping myself. Your words now are so crystal clear. Your teachings have no frontiers. To see all these transformations, we just have to put love in action. To see all these transformations, we just have to put love in action.
Come on spread it to the world. Good vibes, laughter and shout outs, show it to the world. Always follow the footsteps of our Lord. All roads that I shall walk on, sowing seeds of peace. These lights that keep us shining will be bright and brighter. Will be bright and brighter. Will be bright and brighter.
Sing this song along with me. Just open up your hearts. Feel harmony and peace inside yourself. Life is a great school, teaching always to do good. Learning that in order to be happy, we need to help. Learning to accept that everyone deserves respect. Uniting all their hearts with a gesture of affection. Finding our happiness will be spreading joy. There is no other way. Charity is the solution. Only one love, only one ideal. So in love and peace in the world, conquer for us. Feel the life within ourselves, and love will certainly appear, and the world will be in peace. Sing this song along with me. Just open up your hearts. Feel harmony and peace inside yourself. Life is a great school, teaching always to do good. Learning that in order to be happy, we need to help. Learning to accept that everyone deserves respect. Uniting all their hearts with a gesture of affection. Finding our happiness will be spreading joy. There is no other way. Charity is the solution. Only one love, only one ideal. So in love and peace in the world, conquer for us. Feel the life within ourselves, and love will certainly appear, and the world will be in peace. Only one love, only love ideal. So in love and peace in the world, conquer for us. Feel the life within ourselves, and love will certainly appear, and the world will be in
Marcelo, você está com o microfone desligado. So sorry. And again, welcome everyone. Welcome to our public meeting. We thank everyone for joining us tonight. Before we start, we would like to share a couple of announcements. We ask you to turn off your phone notifications and find a quiet place to stay during this time if it's possible. Our meeting will have a 30 minutes presentation followed by Q&A. Following the presentation, we will have a spiritual treatment with passes and magnetized water. So we invite you to set aside a container with water to be magnetized. We would like to inform that there is a free and online course that for those who want to learn more about Spiritism. Get to Know to Spiritism happens every Saturday at 5:15 East p.m. East. There will be a new Get to Know to Spiritism class starting September 10th. We will bring more information soon. We also invite everyone to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube from the Spiritism Canada and the Spiritism group Path of Light. Now, I would like to invite everyone to join me in our opening prayer. Let's close our eyes and elevate our thoughts. Heavenly Father, we would like to thank you for the opportunity to be here one more Tuesday in order to learn more about your teachings, about your love. We thank you for your love, your mercy, and for everything you have done for us. We also thank you for this day, for our lives, our health, our family, and our friends. May you can bless all of us in our inner necessities, and may we become a better person due to your example of humility and peace. We ask the good Spiritist to bless and inspire our brother Rodrigo, who will speak to us tonight. May we can learn from him. Once again, we thank you for everything and we ask you to stay with us today and always. So be it. We also would like to announce that our public meeting is being retransmitted today by Continental Conference Americas through their Facebook and will also be retransmitted every Wednesday at 8 p.m. by Kardec Radio through their Facebook as well. Everyone is welcome to write comments and questions in the chat, and we will address the questions at the end of the talk. The topic of today's meeting is Sinning in Thought, Adultery, from chapter 8, Blessed are the pure of heart, items 5 to 7, which will be facilitated by our brother Rodrigo Villar from Winnipeg. So now we invite our tonight's speaker, Rodrigo. Welcome, Rodrigo.
Hello, Marceli. How are you today?
I'm good. Better now because I'm not mute.
That happens. I do that all the time. Don't worry.
I didn't notice. I'm so sorry and sorry everyone for that.
Yeah, don't
How are
worry.
you today?
Good. I'm good. Very excited to share some reflection tonight.
And we are excited to learn from you. Okay.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good evening, and thank you for having me again. So, as Marceli told you before, this is the topic of today, and I would like to share this reflection with you tonight. And I would like to start my reflection with you by remember this passage from Matthew 5:27. In this first sentence, Jesus is referring to the Ten Commandments, Mosaic law Jesus reminds people about the commandment, you shall not commit adultery. And in Matthew, they report Jesus saying, you have learned it was said to the ancients, you shall not commit adultery. And then Jesus continued, but I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman with a wicked desire for her has already committed adultery with her in his heart. So, as we know, to analyze those situations and the Jesus teachings, we need to come back and analyze and comprehend the time and the context of Jesus' teachings. Remember that people that time considered as well their relationship with God a very intimate relationship, and they even used to mention as a marriage. So a commitment, a strong commitment to God, a very strong bond between them. And Jesus here is introducing, as you see, a deep understanding of those values. He's talking about this commitment is not only through actions, but also another level of consciousness, awareness about the power of our thoughts. And then the question becomes, what was the meaning behind Jesus' message? What really Jesus is trying to convey when he is talking to people about this adultery? So to be able to expand our understanding, I want to invite you to think, what is the first concept that comes to your mind when you hear the word adultery? Probably this is the first things that come to mind. Is a voluntary sexual intercourse between a married person and someone other than the person's current spouse or partner. And the question becomes, is this the only meaning of adultery? Or is there something else? So when we dig more in the dictionary, we're going to figure out that adultery also means misconduct, unfaithfulness, disloyal, untrustworthy. And the question becomes, do you think Jesus was referring only the first one? Or he's referring to something else? Interesting, Kardec, in his wisdom, and of course, using his perspicacy and sharp mind and knowledge, also using spiritual teachings, brought this up, providing us with the explanation based on the Spiritism teachings. And he mentioned that the word adultery must in no way be understood here in the exclusive sense of its normal meaning. But in more generalized sense, Jesus often employed it by extension to designate evil, sin, and every bad thought. Now we start to understand, as more evolved we become and we become more spiritual mature, we start to get a new sense of Jesus' teachings. If you think about here, what behind the Jesus message is a clear message that's talking about the relationship between feelings, thoughts, and actions. And that's why Jesus is bringing this complement to the Mosaic law. In the Mosaic law was the action, correct? The adultery as an action. Jesus come and say that's not enough if you act, but is not good, is an error, is a mistake, what we call sin. Sin is just a mistake that we do, wrongdoings. And now Jesus brought a new consciousness. If you're thinking to do bad things, you already made a bad choice. It's bringing more our awareness about our thinking. Then, how can we kind of prove that? If you look at the sentence here, it's quite interesting. You can find this in Mark 8:38. If anyone, and I want you to pay attention very close to this message. If anyone is ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous and sinful generation. So if Jesus was talking about only adultery in mean a relationship, a sexual relationship between uh, a, a female and a male, so why they are calling all humanity here as adultery? Is not everyone in humankind commit adultery. Well, he is really trying to show us that adultery, in that sense of misconduct, violation of this relationship between us and God. And that's a different interpretation if you just read the Jesus teaching, not understanding the context. And that's why sometimes people get lost when they're reading the Bible, when they are reading passages without this connection, this ability to see beyond only words and understand the meaning. And this is also I want us to reflect in this message because it's a very powerful message as well. So we see the first one, the first message that talk about this commitment between us and God and how much powerful are our thoughts. And why our thoughts so powerful? Because the thoughts guide actions. And also it's important to understand feelings because the feelings feed the thoughts. For example, if I have a bad feeling about someone, I generate bad thoughts, and that bad thoughts could generate in a bad action. For example, if I say that I don't like someone and we are in a context of that person did something to me and then I get mad, so then my thought is I'm going to punch that person and then I do it. So, and Jesus are very clear that we have to be careful because when we're thinking and do a bad action, we already committed a mistake. So that's very important to analyze. And also, let's take a look in this sentence. If anyone is ashamed of me and my words. So, what Jesus is telling us here is basically, I'm providing you the moral teachings and the values. It's a free will, it's a choice. We can follow or not because these higher spirits, not Jesus, even God, can force us to do anything. So we have the free will, the freedom to choose, the liberty, right? However, Jesus is very clear. If you're ashamed of me, so when Jesus say ashamed of me is following his teachings and my words, again, the teachings, and tell that all us humankind and call us adulterous and sinful because we're not perfect as Jesus is. Now, when the time will come, the Son of Man will be ashamed of them when he comes in his Father's glory with the holy angels. So the translation here basically is talking the following, and Kardec really smart to explore that. So after reading that sentence, you probably ask yourself, Rodrigo, what is the meaning of this message? What Jesus is trying to teach us? And interesting, Kardec, again, once more, elucidates Jesus' teachings based on his intelligence and logical reasoning by using the Spirit's knowledge. He describes that the true purity is not only displayed in one's actions, it's also displayed in one's thoughts. For those who have a pure heart, do not even think about evil. This is what Jesus meant. He condemns sin or wrongdoings or bad choices, even in thought, because it's a sign of impurity. And now, Kardec and the spirits give a whole new sense to that message that I showed you before. Because what Jesus is telling us that we're gonna face the consequences of our choices, and what Jesus are trying to show us that we need to be pure. And what's being pure means is have good feelings, good thoughts, and good deeds, good actions. Now, what's the challenge? It's very complicated to us because we thought all the time. So basically, if I'm not mistaken, I apologize for those numbers, but we have around 6 to 10,000 thoughts a day. So it's really hard. I'm not saying that all complex, but even like, oh, I have to brush my teeth. This is a thought. So we have complex thoughts and simple thoughts during a day. And it's really hard to control our thoughts all the time. But why Jesus is so concerned about our thoughts? Because he knows us and he understands that, again, thoughts generate actions. And feelings feed the thought. That's why we have to take care of those things. Then Kardec's so smart that he come, okay, if that's the case, this principle naturally leads to the following question. And Kardec is quite smart. And this question is probably your question right now. Does one suffer the consequences of an evil thought if it's not followed by an effect? Basically, what Kardec is telling here is if I have a evil thought, but I do not do it what I thought, am I guilty at the same extent? Let's see what the spirituality has to say. The spirits respond to Kardec. Here there is important distinction to be made. And that's quite important, which now the spirituality is showing here. There is not is a spectrum, and it really depends. And depends on what. That's what we're gonna see. So then the spirit says that as the soul got up on the wrong path, advances in its spiritual life. It enlightens itself and rids itself little by little of its imperfections, depending on the greater or lesser willingness it employs in virtue of its free will. So very important here to break down in parts. And the soul that caught up on the wrong path. So if I'm doing something wrong and I realize that, this is already an advancement. You're already noticing that you did something wrong. And this enlighten myself and enlighten the person. And little by little, we are going to remove these imperfections. Why? Because you don't do that anymore. For example, now we can try is little by little. So they're not saying awesome, grateful, big, gigantic steps. They're talking about little by little. So let's try to be more calm when we're driving. So when you're driving, someone cut to you. Instead of sending bad compliments to the driver, we maybe should be quiet. But be careful what you think, because the thinking also send a message to the other driver, not in the communication way, but in the vibrational way. So we send the energy to that. And that's what Jesus was talking about, our thinking. So depending on the greater or lesser willingness. So if you really want to change or not that much. And then we start to work on our virtues. For example, in the traffic example, is patience. Well, if someone cut you, that's fine. Go in peace. Why? Because that's not going to disturb your day. You're not going to lose your calm just because someone in a hurry. And this is depends on us. It's a free will. It's our choice. So every day you have a choice related to this. How we control our emotions and our thoughts and our actions. And Jesus invites us to learn about those. So continuing, every evil thought thus results from the soul's imperfections. And that's make all the sense, right? If we are imperfect souls, we're gonna make bad choices. And these evil thoughts that everyone has in this planet, because for a few exceptions, I'm not one of them, I have bad thoughts. Don't get me wrong, because I'm imperfect. But think the complement, however, depending on its desire to purify itself, even an evil thought can become an opportunity for advancement if it forcefully rejects. So the idea here is this: if I have a bad thought, I have to reject that bad thought, and I can even try to change for a good thought. Back to the traffic example. If someone cuts in front of you, instead of saying bad things, you're not going to say anything. And instead to say, think about bad things, you just say, for example, God bless you, go in peace. I hope you'll find a calm next time that you're driving. So then you're not losing your cool, you're not losing your patience, and you're not changing anything your day because of that situation. And then you can use this in our lives, in relationships, in our home, in our work. So let's say you have a co-worker that having a bad day and give you a tough time. Instead of respond and fight, or even not saying anything but emission of bad thinking, I hope you get something. I hope this happens to you. So that is a thought. So people cannot listen to you, but your energy goes through that person. And you have to be careful, because remember, energy travels, and thought is energy. So if your thought, this energy gonna travels and gonna be where the energy should be. This indicates that an effort to wipe away a stain. So now think about our soul as a cloth, and you see a stain in your clothes. So then you try to wash away that, and you will use cleaning products to try to remove the stain, because you're seeing And you see, well, that's not nice to be in my white shirt, a coffee stain, right? You want to remove that. So think about the purification of our soul. If you have those stains in our spirit, as we evolve, we want to remove that stain. And what that stains are is our mistakes, our wrongdoings. We try to fix them. That bring us to more a purified level. Hence, it will not yield if presented with an opportunity to satisfy an evil desire. So then you can have situations that we have this evil desire to do something or to think something. And after you resist it, you feel much stronger and happier with its victory. So how many times here, I don't know you, but I'm going to speak myself. I have situations in my relationships or even at my work where I would like to say something, but I say, you know what? I'm not going to say anything. So never mind. This is not important. So I'll be quiet. So then I don't stress myself. And then when I see all the consequences later on, I feel very happy that I didn't say anything, that I even thought about bad about a person, because you just don't know. So maybe the person's having a bad day. So it happens. Sometimes we do have better day, good days and bad days. And in our bad days, we give hard times for people. So, and that's the winning, right? When we control our emotions, we control our thoughts, and we control our actions, then we have this power on our hands. Then the spirits ending up saying, on the other hand, the soul that has not made good resolutions seeks an opportunity for an evil act. And if it does not actually commit one, it's not because of its will, but because it lacks opportunity. Consequently, it is as guilty as it had actually committed it. So that's very interesting. Now, the situation is this: if I didn't do anything, I want to punch someone. I didn't punch, but I thought about it that I would like, and I wish all the bad things to that person. It doesn't matter if I didn't actually do the action, but just my thought is already a mistake. And that's the main message here. So you just sometimes we have evil thoughts and we just don't do it, not because we don't want to, it's just because we don't have the opportunity. But the intention is there. And that's what the clear message of Jesus. The intention matters. The spirits here are telling Kardec, so the intentions matter. So if you have a good intention is one thing. If you have a bad intention is another thing. Doesn't matter the action. So if we cannot act, but you have a bad thought, that counts. But because we are humans, so let's get started with avoiding bad actions. And then when we get more evolved, we start not having that feelings and thoughts. And then we reaching more towards what Jesus was trying to teach us. So remember, persons who do not even conceive thought of evil have already made progress. So think about those very kind people in humankind. Think about Chico Xavier, Divaldo Franco, Mahatma Gandhi. So who else? Confucius, Buddha, any other, uh, you know, remember nobody's perfect, because sometimes you say Buddha, but Buddha, or Mahatma Gandhi, but Mahatma Gandhi. Yeah, so the question becomes, when we're judging them, so are we making better than they are? So we have to be careful with this judgment. Mother Teresa, Sister Dulce. So many examples, they don't have it. And then we have I joke here, the middle class. This is the higher upper class. So this is the middle class. Those to whom the thought occurs, but who reject it, are on the way to making progress. And this is good news. For now on, after today, I want you to reflect in every situation that you face and then make your decision. Are you going to feed that thought or are you going to reject it? If it's a good thought, go on. If it's a bad thought, reject it. And if you have create the ability to change your good bad thoughts for a good thought, it's even better. And then you have the third category that I'm just using a number here. So you have upper level, middle level, and I call this the third level or the bottom level. Those who have such a thought and take pleasure in it are still indwelt by evil in all its strength. While unfortunately on earth you're gonna find those people, they really do evil and they feel pleasure. And these are lower level spirits. They are still living in ignorance. They don't realize even how damage is this type of feelings, attitude, feeling, thoughts, and attitudes. So to summarize, one the upper level, the work's finished. So there is no evil thought anymore. In the other two cases, the middle and the lower, remains to be done. But of course, the middle is closer to the upper level as we start rejecting more and more the bad feelings, the bad thoughts, and the actions, and then we start purifying ourselves and we're going to reach out upper and upper levels until we be pure. And I just want to remind all of us God is just and considers all such nuances in people's responsibility for their actions and thoughts. Remember, what we know, we cannot unknow. And if I know more, I have more responsibilities compared to other ones that can blame ignorance. They could say, I didn't know. And it could be true. And that's good to have this in mind. God is just, and you're going to consider the nuances. And that's why it doesn't belong to us to judgment. Only God knows our deeper and deeper thoughts and feelings. And to finalize, I would like to leave us with this message: good thoughts, good words, good deeds. Thank you very much for listening to me. And I'm open for questions if you have any.
Thank you so much, Rodrigo, for your presentation and reflections on this topic. Was really interesting in your talk tonight. Yeah, and it clarified for me lots of things, and I think we have some people in the chat who wants to ask you some questions about your talk. And the first one is Rodrigo Gomez, our friend Rod, and he is asking, Evie, with all of our imperfections, how can we make our daily choices better? Is there a daily formula or technique that we can use in our lives to improve ourselves?
So that is easy. Follow Jesus' teachings So that's the recipe. So if you go to the question 625 in the Spirit's book, if Spirit's book, I think. So what's our motto? So
Yeah.
they say, follow Jesus. So how we can become better? Follow Jesus in each sense. What Jesus taught us. For example, if someone remember the phrase, someone hit you in the one side of the face, offer the other side. So what Jesus are trying to tell us, don't turn evil with evil. Be good.
Forgiveness, right?
Yeah, don't be good no matter what, because
Mhm.
it's always our choice. If someone do something bad for to me, it's my choice to return. So that whole presentation, watch your feelings and your thoughts because they are going to become action.
Yes. Hmm.
So, and I'm trying to answer quite quick here because then if you have
Yes.
more questions,
We
so
do have more questions. Larissa is asking, hi, Rodrigo. Thank you for your reflections. I know for sure that the spirits influenced a lot on our thoughts, mental space as well. Is there a way to differentiate what are our own thoughts from what are the ones that are coming from others?
well, that's an excellent question. So that's very difficult to answer. So one thing that you have to know first is know yourself. So because if you know yourself, you know that if the thought is coming from a good spirit or if they're coming with a spirit with not a good intention. Let's say this. I don't know if you have that experience. Sometimes you're doing something, let's say you're working, you're very good at what you're doing. And then you have all of a sudden a thought comes to like, I cannot do this. I'm not good enough. You've been doing this for a long time. You know that you're very good. Where this thought is coming from? Is that you? So there is another experience that my wife told me that she was driving and she heard a voice in her head. You don't belong here. That's not your place. So where this coming from nowhere. So I think as more we know ourselves and always look at the message. So what's a good message entails is never personal, is never to make your ego inflate, is never about you. So lifting message is about the good of everyone, is for everyone, that is good for any time. So that's what I would be looking for.
Wow. Thank you so much. I don't know if we have time for one more questions. One more question. So Paulo is asking, what can we do to avoid evil thoughts and falling into sin? You already.
So yeah, so all good questions. You have to avoid evil thoughts. Is have evil feelings. So if you avoid that feeling, for example, if someone tell something behind my back, generates a feeling. If that feeling is good, it's gonna feed your thoughts, and your thoughts gonna feed the action. So it may be you're gonna talk behind that person back. So now you are doing the mistake. So that's the sin, right? The wrongdoing. So I think that's watching. That's why Jesus always told us, watch and pray.
Yes.
So why watch? Watch your
Watch
feelings and
yourself. Yeah.
thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
and then pray if you have those bad ones to avoid the action. And that's the perfect recipe. Every time that you have a feeling or a thought that you say, "Wow, this is not going the right way," pray, stop, meditate, whatever. If you don't like prayer, you stop and meditate. I don't know. My Chico Xavier taught about the water of peace, right? So put that water in your mouth and stay there before you say something that you may gonna regret. I think there are good advices that to avoid. So, and what you're gonna try if you have a evil one, try to shift for a good one.
Yeah.
For example, I'm not good at that. No, I am good at that. I'm doing this. I can do it. I know that I can. I have the capability. I'm smart. I'm intelligent. I'm a beautiful people, and I can do it.
Yeah. That's why our inner renovation, inner reform, it's so important, right?
Exactly, because when you know yourself, you just open up a whole new world that outside things start matter less because you know what's part of you, what is not.
Yeah.
But until we get there, it's a long journey.
Oh yeah. It's gonna take some lives.
Yeah, well, yeah,
We are doing our step by step, and one day we are get there.
yeah, big steps. So
Yeah.
Jesus and God are very patient, and they're gonna give us the opportunity. But doesn't mean that we have to stop and say, they're gonna give me a lot of opportunities, then I'm gonna do nothing. So then you can do that, but you have to remember your choice, your consequences.
Yeah. We have just one more question.
Sure.
Our friend Publio, your explanations make us change the old conceptions of adultery. Even when we just had bad thoughts, we are already committing adultery.
Yes, you are. Simply straightforward. I know that hard to hear that, but yes, it's true. And adultery means that misconduct, violation. So what we are violating is God's laws, right? The law of love, the law of work, the law of justice, charity. So when if I have a bad feeling and a bad thought, I'm sending this to Publio, for example. So then what? So what I'm doing? So if we consider that we are all brothers and sisters, I have to question myself. This is a kind of energy. This is a kind of feeling, thought, or even action that I do with someone that I should love. So yeah, and that's the problem. That's the power of thinking, and that's why Jesus brought that up. You better learn how to control that because
Mhm.
if you don't, the consequences will come.
Thank you so much once again. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Marcel. Have a nice night.
You too. And thank you for your participation in the chat. We will now move to the preparation for tonight's spiritual treatment. PASS is the transfusion of spiritual energy with the goal of assisting with our physical, emotional, and mental balance. Passes help us to restore a state of harmony and peace by replacing negative energy with healthy, positive energy. In order to receive the best benefits from passes, please follow the audio instructions or remain in prayer. You may close your eyes to help with mentalization. During the pass, the water you set aside will also absorb the spiritual energy that your family and you can benefit from. We will now make our praying preparation for the spiritual treatment. So, once again, I invite everyone to close our eyes and elevate our thoughts. Dear Lord, we thank you for this blessed night and for everything we learned during this tonight's talk. May we can practice your teachings and not sin by thought nor by actions. May we always pray and watch ourselves to stay in order in the good and to improve ourselves every day. We ask you and the good spirits to bless us all during this treatment and that we can finish it better than when we started. Please bless our week and our steps. Once again, thank you for everything you have done for us and to stay with us today and always. In Jesus' name, amen.
Let us now prepare ourselves for the moment of the passes and the magnetization of water. Let's now calm our hearts, breathing in and out. Pay attention to your body. Focus on your breath and let yourself be carried by this energy. Let your thoughts pass by without judging them. Let them flow. Allow this light to be the beacon that guides you, and allow these words to penetrate your energy. Make each word an anchor of gratitude, faith, and trust. With the purpose of healing, which takes away my faith, healing every feeling of separation, of pain, let it all dissolve in this moment, leaving only love, gratitude, and trust. We ask God for the presence of our guardian angel and the friendly spirits who welcome us into this enlightened environment of our Spiritist Center. We open our plexus of love and forgiveness by mentalizing a light surrounding our hearts. Find a quiet and comfortable place to begin the mentalization process. Remove all worries from your thoughts. We ask that during the pass you breathe slowly and deeply. Let your body relax and surrender yourself to a deep meditation. Calmly imagine divine energies in soft and colorful light surrounding you in an environment of peace and spiritual warmth. Entrusting God with your most intimate desires, raise your thoughts to Jesus and the emissaries of the spiritual environment. The path begins with the cleansing of your soul. Imagine a waterfall of crystal clear water pouring over us, removing all the feelings that keep you away from faith and trust. Feel the energy of this water bathing you and deeply breathe in, feeling peace and harmony. Allow this water to wash away all the impurities and spiritual larvae, washing away all the sorrows and resentments, any feelings of hatred and revenge that hold us back and cause us harm, not only from this life, but past ones as well. Now visualize spiritual doctors around you, applying magnetic cleansing passes, sanitizing your spiritual body of all sadness and negative energy. Mentalize these negative thoughts and feelings being washed away, evaporating from your soul, like water evaporating into thin air, and being carried far away from your mind. Surround yourself with the faith that bathes your being, bringing clarity and lucidity, rebalancing every cell in your body. May the water envelop all pain and bring the clarity of opportunity that chooses peace. The answer arises in our hearts, freeing us from all evil and freeing all whom we have caused evil into and who have caused us evil. Washing away all the connections that bind us. Even though we may not understand, we are freeing ourselves from all that causes us harm. Feel this cleansing penetrate your soul and release. Now that we are spiritually cleansed, imagine yourself surrounded by the light of love from the hands of Jesus. At this moment, sing words of faith and gratitude, being faithful to the light that exists in me, planted by the zealous Father. Imagine the sunlight that surrounds and enraptures, freeing us from the chains of everything that holds us down, strengthening your faith. Allow yourself to trust in this light, surrender to it, involved in pleasant feelings and feeling relieved to receive the strengthening lights. Mentalize your spiritual mentors now applying divine light for the strengthening of your mind and your emotions, leaving you feeling emotionally revitalized. Let us now mentalize the magnetization of this water.
May we mentalize all the friendly spirits, magnetizing this water and filling it with everything that our bodies, minds, and soul need, so that it may be of help to us when we drink it after the Pass. Thank you, God.
I would like to thank you for joining us tonight. We will be back next Tuesday here on Spiritism Canada and Continental Concaffres America at 8:30 p.m. East, and next Wednesday on Kardec Radio at 8 p.m. East. Have a good night.
Someone told me long ago that life is just a long road. Sorry, mate, but life to me is way much more. No matter what it seems to be, it's always time to make a change. Sometimes all we need is only one more chance. So try. Build a bridge over troubled waters, fly. If that's all that you have left to do, I want more. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face. Love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more, no more sorrows, no more bad days. No more cries, no more dark hope. No more fear, no more fight. Someone told me long ago that life is just a long road. Sorry, babe, but life to me is way much more. No matter what it seems to be, it's always time to make a change. Sometimes all we need is only one more chance. So try, build a bridge over troubled water, fly. If that's all that you have left to do, I want more. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face. Love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more, no more sorrow, no more bad days. No more cries, no more dark hope place. No more fear, no more fight. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face. Love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more sorrow, no more bad days. No more cries, no more dark hope place. No more fear, no more fight. Let the sun on the way shine, shine. Let the sun of the way shine, shine, shine.